Hey there. Welcome to the Pine Island Experience podcast. I'm Joanna Anderson with my husband, Trygve. Each of our episodes will be conversations with fellow Pine Islanders.
The goal of our podcast is to share with you our experiences, what we have found to be fun, and what makes the Pine Island experience so unique.
And mostly we get men in there that we don't separate clothes. We just take them. We just take it all and we dump it in the biggest washer we have, and then we look around and spot that big dryer. Yep, all these will fit in there too.
You heard Rich Evans describing the efficiencies some customers have while doing laundry. Rich and Carol Evans are the owners of Ship-Shape Laundry Company, a friendly and beautifully decorated new laundromat filled with top-of-the-line Electrolux washers and dryers. Carol and Rich are looking forward to getting to know all of the people of Pine Island. They would love it if people would just simply stop by and say hi. And now, here are Rich and Carol. Well, welcome, Rich and Carol Evans. We're so excited you're here. I know you opened just a short time ago, so we're so happy you're here. Your place is gorgeous. I've never seen a laundry like that before. The decorating, the machines, and we'll get into that, but we're excited to have you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. We're very excited to be here and to be part of Pine Island. And thank you for the compliments on the laundromat. When we were building it and had a vision, and I thought, well, doing laundry is a hard enough chore. And I thought, why not do it in some place that's lovely and bright and welcoming? And that's what we tried to create.
Nice.
Thank you.
Now, we always start in the very beginning about where you're from, which we know, which is a great place, where you're from, where you went to school, what you did for your careers. And we're going to start, just do you each individually.
Okay.
So I don't know who wants to start. You, Carol, or you, Rich? Oh, you're pointing at each other. Okay.
Rich, go ahead.
I'm from Wilmot, Wisconsin. And at 17, I joined the Navy. I spent 22 years, 6 months, 21 days in the Navy.
Who keeps track, right?
Yeah. So then I got out and I thought I had to work on diesel engines. So I went to Appleton, Wisconsin to Fox Valley Tech and got certified as a certified diesel mechanic on semi-trucks. And the first time I'm replacing the clutch on a big diesel, and I come out of there all dirty and stuff and looking for the E1 or E2 to clean up, I found out real quickly I was the E1 or E2 to clean up. So,
that was your job.
Yeah,
so no.
That was a rude awakening very quickly. So the civilian life. And then I worked there for quite a few years, and I worked at the Jenny O Turkey store in Barron, Wisconsin. And then the gentleman came to us, a recruiter, and wanted me to interview with a place called Conrad Marine that built stern drives for our small boats in the Navy. And so I was working at a turkey store. I was doing all right there. And then they turned around and he said, well, just interview with him. So I interviewed with Ken Conrad, and he said he had a problem with the steering on the small boats. So I asked him what was wrong, and he told me. I said, well, why don't you fix it? And he says, no, you don't understand. That's not our problem. I said, well, Mr. Conrad, you built this stern drive.
Mm-hmm.
You're the smartest person I know. You can figure out the steering. And he goes, well, that isn't our job. So I went home, and she said, did you get the job? And I says, no. I said, well, you tell the boss how to run his business. You don't get the job. So about not even a day later, I get a phone call, and I got a job at Conrad Marine. And
Wow.
I went to the Persian Gulf 6 times for him.
Wow.
During desert during the second Gulf War, because none of the civilians wanted to go over there while they were dropping these bombs. So, and it didn't bother me at all. So I went over, and then I worked for the VA laundry, or VA hospital in Minneapolis, and I worked the laundry. And I work on industrial laundry equipment. So when I retired from the VA, the company that hired me asked me if I could go back and work on laundry equipment. And so I said, okay. And that's what I've been doing ever since before I started the laundry, is work on industrial laundry equipment. I do it even today.
So you're going to do your own repairs now?
Right.
Oh, wow. Wow, what an amazing story. That's fabulous. When did you two meet and all that?
Well, we'll be married July 1st. We'll be married 18 years.
Oh, congratulations.
And thank you. And we met because Rich took this job at Conrad, and which was in Hudson, Wisconsin, where I lived. So we met online on Match.com.
Wow.
And we never would have met because Rich never left his apartment.
It's kind of hard to date if you're not leaving your apartment.
Right. So, but we dated, or we met, and 6 months later we were married. And so the kids thought we were crazy. We each have 3 kids, and they're all about the same ages, but they were all adults and on their own when we got married.
Well, they're probably happy for you.
Yeah, they were, and it's been great. And we moved to Florida about 5 years ago from Wisconsin. Got sick of the cold weather, and just thought it was. And I had never moved out of. I was born and raised in River Falls, Wisconsin, and I then lived for 20 years in Hudson, which is another, 10 miles from River Falls. So at the age of 59. I ran away from home and ran away to Florida.
When you were 59, you ran
59,
away.
Yeah,
Took you a while.
That's what my mom says. I ran away.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
After all that, then what got you interested in starting your own business?
I had a couple different businesses over the years. I had gone to school. I was an esthetician, and I had a small spa in Hudson. Ran that for about 5 years, and then went into real estate, so had a real estate business. Then we retired and moved to Florida. And I just was a little bored and thought retirement was great, but I decided going to lunch 3 times a week was just not enough to do for me. So I kind of talked Rich into this.
Yes, you're shaking your head. Sounded fine to you, right?
Well, we actually we were looking to find a business for my daughter and her husband to move to Florida so we could be closer to the grandkids. So we heard about a business in laundromat in Fort Myers for sale. So we started to investigate it a little bit. Well, it wasn't going to be enough money coming in for their family of 4 to live on. So they said, but if you guys want to buy it, they live in Asheville. If you want to buy it, you can run it, or they'd buy it and we could run it. And we're like, well, that doesn't sound like such a good deal. So then we heard about that there was this laundromat on Pine Island. And this was, shortly after, year after the hurricane. And I knew a lot about Pine Island because I worked for a realtor for about 1.5 years on the island and really learned to love the island. And so we just kind of felt this calling. It was odd. We can't even explain it. We're not real religious, but we feel like it was a God thing, honestly, because it all fell into place for us. From the landlord who said she didn't want it to be a laundromat to deciding, yes, it could be a laundromat again, to financing, trying to figure out how can we do this on a retirement income. That was frightening. It was a big undertaking. Timing. We were old, so we're thinking how are we going to do this? And it just all came to be. And we just feel like the island really needed something positive. And I would see on the Facebook pages that, when people would say, what does Pine Island need? And laundromat was like one of the number one things. And I just knew people were in need of that resource. So
it's an excellent location too.
Right. I mean, we're in the center of everything. And I think that, it was promising because the financing we went through, our equipment is Electrolux, and Rich will talk about the equipment because that's his passion. Mm-hmm. But they know what they're doing when they're financing because that's what they do for a living. So they said, Pine Island, they said, the demographics and the location, and they just felt like it's going to be growing and it's a great opportunity. And so we felt good that these people who finance all of these laundromats all over the country, that they know what they're talking about. And so we just thought, okay, we're gonna go for it. And so far, the people of Pine Island haven't disappointed us. They've been great. We've met so many wonderful people and positive feedback, and they're bringing in their stuff. We do wash and fold, and we'll talk a little bit more about what we offer and what we hope to offer. But I just can't say enough about the wonderful people that we've met.
Did you have any knowledge of Pine Island until you moved to Florida?
No, never even heard of it. And the truth is, I had never even been to Fort Myers or Cape Coral. Okay. I have a daughter that lives in Fort Lauderdale, so I've been on that side of Florida, but but it was, I think, a day in April in Wisconsin, and we had snow one more time. And I got online and I bought a condo sight unseen for $160,000.
Because it was snowing?
Because it was snowing, and it had snowed we had it with snow. And I had wanted to move to Florida for 20 years. And I, waited, the kids, raising kids and working. And I thought, here's our opportunity. We had a little bit of money to do that. And we thought, we're going to make this work. So we owned that condo for 2 years and then decided to move here full time.
Were you in on the condo purchase, Rich, or were you told about it later? Or?
We left Melissa's house in Evanston, and we were headed back up to Hudson. And we stopped in a Perkins restaurant, and we got to see the house, the condo, on the realtor was videotaping it.
Yeah.
Phone thingy.
So you had to kind of a little walkthrough online.
And stuff, and we said, one more gloomy day in Wisconsin, that was enough.
That's enough. Yeah.
And so remind us of the name of the business.
It's called Ship Shape Laundry. And we decided, of course, because I wanted to bring in Rich's Navy background, and our goal was the biggest complaints about laundromats are that equipment is broken and they're dirty. So we thought, that's going to be what we're going to focus on, is keeping it in ship-shape condition. And that's what we've been, doing. And that's what we get most of our compliments about, honestly.
Take us a little bit through, were there permitting issues and remodeling issues? Obviously, you probably had to order equipment and get it installed and those kinds of things.
We were very impressed with the inspectors and the fire department and anybody we needed permits or stuff from. Like the fire department, they came back like 3 or 4 times just to make sure we were on the right track. And the building inspector, he was outstanding. So it was all...
And that was Lee County, right? Lee
County, but I think he lives here on the island.
Oh, good. Okay.
So they knew that they really needed a laundry. So it was fairly easy. The machinery was a little bit different. The machines you see in there now are top of the line. We were going to go with the second one down because they were a little bit cheaper, and they were called Dexters. They're very, very, very good machines, but they're number 2. We were going to go with them, but then our salesman had to go on vacation. I think it's Broward County. I think he's still on vacation in their jail. So,
Oh boy.
we heard nothing back from Dexter. So then I was repairing equipment up in New York for the VA hospital. That's how we got with Electrolux, because they're part of their main office is up in New York, and so that's why we went with Electrolux. Now there's nothing wrong with Maytag or Speed Queen. They're good machines, but they don't last as long as more durable ones.
The life of a industrial washing or machine or dryer is what, about 10 years, Rich?
A good one, yeah.
Yeah, good one, about 10 years.
Yeah, and that has a lot of use.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
10 years is good.
You'll see your Maytags and your Speed Queens last about 5 years before they have to start working on them.
Yeah, you don't need that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Excellent. And they look beautiful. But we're going to talk about how beautiful it is.
And then just kind of from the day you said okay and got the approval to lease a spot and got open, about how long?
well, we started in October and we opened up in
April.
April.
And in between, we had a cruise planned. We had, since we got married, had planned to go. Rich's favorite country and city when he was in the Navy was Rome, Italy. So he kept saying, I want to take you to Rome someday. So we like to cruise. I don't know why he likes to be back on a ship, but he sure does. So we thought we wanted to do a transit cruise so we went from, we flew to Italy and then we were gone 3 weeks. So we did a transit back from Italy to Fort Lauderdale. So in between buying, trying to hook up the laundry, we were trying to do things, financing things, working with the bank, trying to do all that while we're in Italy.
5 hours difference, right?
Yeah.
6.
Or 6 if it's Italy.
It was crazy. So that was difficult, but we got it done. And then things always take longer than you anticipate. So it was a long process.
All right, so this is getting a little bit scary. Not only were we all from Wisconsin, we in May did a repositioning or transatlantic cruise from Fort Lauderdale over to Amsterdam.
Oh.
And while on board, we signed back up to go next year back from Rome, like you folks did, back to Lauderdale.
Oh,
yeah, we loved the transatlantic so much.
Well, we went the end of November and we arrived back the beginning of December. It was a little too chilly for me on the water, and I got a little seasick. But other than that, it was a great experience. Yep.
You're really getting away.
You really are getting away. But when you're in the middle of buying a business, it's not so great to be so far away.
And the communication's not the best.
Right.
They're lovely for relaxing because we used to try to work.
Yes.
And keep on top of emails.
Yeah.
And it's gotten better, but boy, just like an email used to take 5 minutes just to load.
Right.
And of course, and that's back when you were paying per minute. So it's like ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching.
Yep.
And you just get so spoiled when you're at home because you got your phone and you got to have your phone turned off. Well, at least cellular is turned off on a cruise ship. So it could be hard to adjust.
That's right.
Particularly if you want to be responsive to things.
But Rich, you didn't have to work on the ship. So you like that part of it, right? Being on vacation on a ship.
I always try to.
He always tries to find something broken that he can fix. They tell him to get off the ladders and stuff.
Well, why don't we talk about the services before we get into the beauty?
Okay.
But the services that you're offering, you told me a little bit about them. Like I was blown away by you wash and fold.
Right.
Oh my goodness, that's got to be big on Pine Island for people.
Well, we're hoping that we've had, right now I've got one cleaner who she does the small houses on Matlas Shea. So she brings in that laundry. And so that's been keeping us pretty busy. And so we've gotten real good at folding those fitted sheets. And
I saw the video you had on your Facebook page.
Yeah. Yeah. And in fact, before we bought I was doing a lot of YouTube videos on how to fold laundry because, I've only been doing laundry for 50 years, but there is some pretty fun ways you can make things, so they stack. And I started to realize how many people here are still they're in RVs and they're in situations, still waiting to get their houses back together, or they just have chosen to live that lifestyle of being travelers. And so they need to have things to be able to be folded up small so it goes in small places. So I can make a t-shirt or a pair of underpants really tiny so they fit just about anywhere. So, yeah.
And that comes in handy when you're packing for the next cruise, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Getting it real tiny.
Yep. So we offer wash, dry, and fold. We also do, people have been bringing in their comforters, bedspreads, big blankets, anything like that.
Pillows? Can they bring pillows?
Pillows, dog beds. We do, lots of dog beds. And we are dog friendly.
I saw that.
Yeah, we're big dog people. Rich and I have, in the last 15 years, we foster dogs, anything small and fluffy. And we have fostered over 300 dogs. So,
my gosh.
Yeah, we just started a couple of years ago. We started taking in dogs that were pregnant. Well, it started because we didn't know she was pregnant. I thought I was overfeeding her. And then my friends who grew up on a farm said, Carol, she's going to have puppies. I had no clue. But so we had a litter of 4 puppies. And so now we've had 3 moms and 3 litters of puppies in the last a year and a half. So we're taking a little break because we're at the laundromat a lot.
Yeah.
So, but that's been we've loved it and watched these dogs go from, bad situations. A lot of them came from people that were, went into assisted living or passed away and didn't make arrangements for their pets. And that's something everybody should really take into consideration.
We did that
because
you put it in your will.
Right. Because, and here's the thing, a lot of times, they pass away and their kids are saying, I don't want that spoiled, rotten dog, and that's the truth. So we took a lot of elderly dogs in, and those were my favorite, honestly, because they just needed. And so I thought, what better place to get to come and retire in Florida. So with us.
Very nice.
Yeah.
How fun is that?
Yep. So yes. So bring your dogs in. With you. Don't leave them in the car, of course. And what else?
You were telling me you're thinking of dry cleaning to send out, right?
Right. We've contacted there's 3 different facilities on the in Cape Coral that we've been in touch with. They're a little slow to respond. I think we'll get it taken care of. I'm just still working on it, but we'd like to be drop off and pick up. And because we live in Cape Coral, I go right past all the time. So that, it's just a gimme. I just need them to get on board to do it.
People here don't want to go off the island, as you know.
Right.
So that'd be a blessing to come over, bring the dry cleaning to you.
It just seems like, a good fit. So we're still trying to make it happen. I think I need to, instead of talking to managers, I need to talk to the owners. They might be more on top of it. So we'll see what happens.
How does the coin operated part of the washers and dryers work? Is it actually physically coins or
yes,
okay?
Quarters.
And then how did they get the change?
We have a change machine that'll change a 20, but the change machine gives you $5 in quarters and 3 5s.
Okay.
So you don't end up with $20.
It's a machine that
quarters.
we literally thought about before we bought it. We could have got one that you just put 20 in and gives you $20 worth of quarters. But then people are walking around with $20 worth of quarters in their pocket and they don't know what, so the minimum you can get is $5 worth of quarters. And so you can use a 20 in it. Plus we have an ATM machine.
Oh, good.
So
and Rich, maybe go talk about the size of the washers and dryers and then the cost.
Right. So we have 2 65-pound dry or washers. Those are $875. They get your laundry done in about 20 25 minutes. And then we have 45 pounders, 4 of them. Then we have 35 pounders. We have 4 of them. 6 of those. And then we have 20 pounders. Now, 65 can handle about 5 of your home washer loads.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The 45s, 4 of your baskets of laundry, and then the 35s, 3, and the 20s will handle double and maybe just a little bit more. We'd like to leave enough room in there so they can tumble.
Mm-hmm.
If you pack it to the max, then it doesn't be able to tumble. It doesn't go around in circles correctly, and it doesn't get washed. Now, the unique thing about these washers is they have a counterclockwise and a clockwise rotation. So they go one way for a little while, and then they'll rotate the other way for a little while. Our dryers, we have 35-pound dryers that will handle almost anything that's in there. Then we have 2 65-pound dryers, and then we have an 83-pound dryer for the comforters and the bigger items. So, and mostly we get men in there that we don't separate clothes. We just
I hope it's on cold then.
We just take it all and we dump it in the biggest washer we have, and then we look around and spot that big dryer. Yep, all these will fit in there too.
It's really about efficiency, isn't it, Rich?
Right, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Do they remember detergent or?
Sometimes.
Oh, that's.
Or send them down to Winn-Dixie?
They never spot clean anything, I can tell you that.
Of course not.
Or folding. Sometimes I just see them, they just pull it out of the dryer and put it in a bag and off they go.
I suppose they don't bring hangers with them to hang the shirts?
Sometimes.
All right, I'm glad you brought that up. Yes, we do have, if you forget your laundry detergent, we have laundry detergent, we have bleach. Plus, we also have hangers.
Oh, you have hangers too?
So, if you need
that's
them,
convenient.
we have them.
Yeah,
So-
well, I don't want to iron. You don't like to iron, do you?
No.
So I just as soon take them out, permanent press setting and hang the shirts up.
And like Carol says, if you don't want to do it at all, just come in and drop it off.
Yeah.
It's $2.50 a pound.
How much a pound?
$2.50 a
$2.50 a
pound.
pound.
Wow.
So, and it's minimum of 10 pounds. So it's $25, but you'd be surprised how much laundry is in 10 pounds. And we get it washed, dried, folded, bagged up, ready to go. All you have to do is just put it right in your drawers.
And it's not going all together. You're separating them and you're probably spot cleaning them, So.
We do a little bleach. If they need that, we'll do whatever we need to do.
So if I did the math right and we kind of correlate your equipment to the home equipment that we're more used to, it sounds like a home equipment is in and around a 10-pound capacity, if I use that terminology.
Right.
And so that kind of maybe puts a little bit of perspective when you get into like that 35. Most men could do 135er and be done.
Roger.
Right?
Right. Yeah. Right. We had one couple come in, they had 7 children. And they were living and I said, is it yours, mine, and ours? And they said, no, just all ours. And they were living in an RV. So I don't know, they've probably moved on now, but they had a lot of laundry. And they were very happy to see those great big washers, as you can imagine.
Of course. They were doing all their bedding. And
all
of course.
Of it, yeah. And I've been surprised that how we actually have more men using the laundromat than women, which surprises me. And we had one gentleman, I'm not going to say his name because I know most of you would know him, but he said that's the only thing he missed about being married was nobody was doing his wash. And I said, I can guarantee you I can do your wash cheaper than if you got remarried.
That's clever.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good sales pitch. You can get a logo or something.
That's right.
And then let's talk about how gorgeous it is. That just hits you right away. You walk up to your place, and first off, you have the outside chairs, right on the sidewalk there. That's fantastic.
Well, thank you.
Then you go in and you have where the kids can color and adults can read magazines. That's lovely. And the whole thing, you have all the art on the walls, and then the equipment you purchased, it's just gleaming. You know, it just, and I even love those little bins with a little hanger thing. And I love laundromat bins. Those are so cute.
Right.
You know, they're perfect for emptying out of the dryer and hanging things up.
Well, I love it. Decorating is one of my favorite things, and I love to paint furniture. So pretty much everything there has been marketplace finds, and I've repainted. And Rich just keeps saying when I haul stuff in, where are you going to put that? And so it's looking good. We're really proud of it, and I wanted it to be welcoming for everyone. I think that sometimes it can be intimidating in a laundromat that, you know, people might not feel safe, especially women, if you're there at night. And we always have an attendant there. Either Rich and I are there, or we have a wonderful new employee, Kayla. So we are making sure that someone's always there. We have ADT. So when we lock the doors at night, we've got our security system on, so we know that that's safe. Even though we feel Pine Island is a real safe place, but like Rich always says, keep the honest people honest. And so that was our goal, to keep it really clean. We have a clean bathroom. Our floor, I wanted it. That's kind of where we started, was with the floor. We went with an epoxy. You know, we had to worry about it being slippery because you're gonna get some wet. So we did that raised epoxy. So that turned out real nice. And then we just kind of went from there, just had a vision, took down some walls, and, you know, and we did most of the work ourselves, honestly. We thought we could hire it done, and then we realized we didn't want to go that far in debt. And so we thought, okay, we're going to just have to do it ourselves. So there was my husband up on scaffolding, hanging the ceiling tiles, putting in the lights, the ceiling fans. I did the painting. I had some friends help me with that.
That was a huge place to paint. That's
it was
huge.
a lot. And you might come in once in a while. I'm still touching things up.
You'll see a little spot or something.
Yeah. But it's. I think we're pretty much done now. So
did you do the demolition too?
Yep.
That was our favorite thing to do when we remodel homes.
Yeah.
Demolition is fun.
Tear down those walls. Yep, exactly.
But it was harder to do what you were doing, hanging the ceiling.
Well, our son-in-law came down from Wisconsin and spent a week with us, and that was a blessing. Yep, definitely.
And plus, we had no equipment in there at the time.
Well, that made it,
So with the scaffolding, we could fly almost through it. So it still took a week, but we got it done.
Only a week? Wow.
For the whole overhead.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
It just shines. It's so beautiful. You really, now is this what got the family, Marvia? She is remodeling right now. Was it because of you?
Oh, I'm sure. No, I don't know.
She's redoing the whole shop.
Yeah, I know. That's nice.
Yeah, that's very nice.
And we're looking for somebody to rent next door to us.
Yeah.
That would be wonderful. I know there's been a couple of people showing interest, so we're hoping that it gets rented out, because the more we can fill up that plaza, the better.
Well, CVS is popular too.
Oh, very popular.
And Winn-Dixie.
Yep.
So,
and the car wash. Boy, that car wash is busy all the time.
They used to close off season, I thought. Maybe they don't anymore.
No, they're
it's handy.
Open. Yeah.
And they're washing boats.
Of course, yeah.
So I think we probably should touch on our hours, just because they're a little different. And our pricing too. So the small, the 20-pound washers are $450, and then they go up to $450, then $550, $650, and then $875 for the biggest. So, and then to dry is $250, and that's for 40 minutes.
Wow, that's a long time for a dryer.
Yeah, and usually it can get. So we tell people, just put in as much in that dryer. You know, you don't have to do 2 loads. Just put it. They're big dryers. You can put it all in. Rich can tell you a little bit about how the dryers work.
The dryers are a little bit different very much different from your home dryer, because they rotate in both directions. Plus, it has what they call cross ventilation. So it it goes around your clothes and then through your clothes.
Oh, no. Yeah.
So it completely dries.
Yeah, that's
So-
quick drying. And they don't have to put it on real high heat. Have you told
No.
them that?
Right.
We have
It's not necessary.
high heat, medium, and low, and then no heat.
Our hours, we decided after we were working 12-hour days, 7 days a week, and we were like, oh my gosh. So we thought summer, we were just really watched real closely how much business we had. And we thought, okay, Tuesdays and Wednesdays were our slowest days. So we have decided for the summer that we're closed Tuesday and Wednesday, and then we're open then Thursday through Monday, 8 to 8.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah. So
It's still a long day,
It's
but
a long-
but that's
yeah.
Perfect.
But it's
for
nice
the
to have
summer.
a couple days off. And then this way, and things have stayed pretty much the same. We understand that, nobody wants to leave the island, right? So we thought, well, if we give them enough notice, maybe they'll just hold that and hang on to that laundry an extra day.
Oh, they will.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you have a laundry, so there's no reason to leave.
Yeah.
Any things that you're thinking about that you might do? I mean, obviously, demand is going to be important and those kinds of things, but
Mhm.
any gaps you're noticing right now that's causing you to think beyond the potential of the dry cleaning?
We're always up for suggestions on anything that people would like. Somebody asked if I iron. Okay, that's where I draw the line. I'm not going to iron. Sorry. But any suggestions that any needs that people have, we sure are open to listening to them. We do have, snack machines. So we have a little candy machine in there. And we also have a vending machine with soda, water, chips and candy. So yeah, we've been thinking what else, because we've got 1,500 square feet. So, but we're pretty. We probably have Rich is making a face like don't buy anything else.
Well, you just open, but you have ideas.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. It's a prime spot and
Dog sitting, daycare, doggy daycare.
I wanted to do a dog bath, but Rich didn't want to do that. So.
And now you have one right there where that opened, right?
Oh, yeah.
It just opened around the corner where
Right.
Tommy used to be.
Yep. So I guess we missed that. No, that's okay.
And then what's the best way to, now the best way I think is to go on Facebook because you've got great things out there on Facebook.
Oh, well,
you
thank
can
you.
see it and everything. And your hours are out there to contact you. I think you have that posted, your emails on Facebook.
Right.
Yep.
We're struggling with our website. We the manufacturers of that, we got a $10,000 marketing budget. So far, we've gotten some pamphlets. So we're like, okay, come on, you guys, you got to show us what you got. So they're supposed to be putting the website together for us. So that is, I didn't know if a website is still really needed with Facebook,
Not on the island, maybe.
Yeah, but it does give us, people look at it and think, well, they're really there. It's a real business, that kind of thing. So,
Yeah, legitimate, I was going to say.
yeah. So I think that gives us,
If it's not a big deal to maintain, then it's a great thing to have.
I think, I think it just gives us one more avenue for people to find us. We've thought, should we do mailings? I don't know. I don't look at that. All of that gets expensive. So we're just trying to figure out the best way. And I know word of mouth, and I really believe that customer service is key to, keeping the business going. And we'd like to, of course, get more business, maybe some of the northwest part of Cape Coral, but I'm not sure if that's a real, if people would come to Pine Island to do that. But I thought about, how about if we advertise, say, come to Pine Island, do your laundry, have lunch, somewhere, make it a day.
Right.
And so we'll see.
Well, you do have nice reviews out there. I love the one they raved about how kind you were. You taught them how to load the comforters, and then you helped them fold it, so people were just raving about that.
We try to help. It's the little things like opening the doors for people. We've got some elderly people that need a little help. So I'll go get the laundry out of the car for them. I'm happy to do that. or they can just drive up and park illegally and we'll run out and get it for them, or anything that we can do to make it a little easier.
It's very sweet.
Yeah, thank you. And Rich is good about giving instructions. He's like, oh, you're overloading that. So,
Well, people don't know.
No.
You know.
They're kind of the hall monitors.
yes, exactly.
So have we mentioned everything that you wanted us to?
I think
talk
so.
about?
Is there anything that you can think of, Rich? Yeah. Well, we appreciate this.
Oh,
This is great.
We enjoyed you. I knew talking to you and you and Trig from the same town, for crying out loud.
I know it.
Yeah.
We that's just unreal. A town of, probably then, Trig, when you were born there, how many people do you think lived there? Maybe 7,000 or something?
I'm not even sure it was that many, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It was very small at the time.
Yeah. It's right now it's probably about 18,000. So that was just a few short years ago.
They were both at UW River Falls, so that, the focus there was the kids coming to school, but
right.
I mean, they still had diagonal parking in the little downtown area.
Yeah,
maybe 1 to 2 blocks long top.
Yeah,
it was really small town America.
Did your parents meet at UW
there,
River Falls?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, at the university.
Whoa.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, and that's why we love Pine Island so much, is because we're both small town people. That's Rich and I. I grew up in River Falls, and Rich grew up in, how big was your graduate?
500 people.
Yeah, 500 people.
I had 500 people in the town. My graduating class was 24 people.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So we're,
So you knew everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what, we love small town, and we understand how important it is that, everybody takes care of everybody. And that's obvious on the island for sure.
Yeah, it was like coming here. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
It was
you.
so enjoyable.
All right. Well, we sure appreciate it. And I hope I come and just say hello. And you don't have to bring your laundry. Just come in and say hi and introduce yourselves. We would love that.
Yeah, they'll be blown away when they see it.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
We hope you enjoyed our Pine Island Experience podcast. If you have any ideas for us, people to interview, or any comments, please feel free to email them to us at pineislandexperience@gmail.com. That's pineislandexperience, all one word, @gmail.com. Don't forget to like us, and you may subscribe to this podcast using all the major catchers like Apple iTunes, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. Thanks again for listening, and remember, island life is a constant vacation. We'll see you on the next podcast.